2 viewers, welcome. Stick a comment down so I know who I'm talking to. Probably Luke. I bet it is Luke. So yeah, drop a comment below if you've got any questions, and also to let me know who I'm speaking to. I'm not even sure if this is working properly. Not quite accustomed to this live streaming thing yet, but I can't really get any conversations flowing if nobody's going to be commenting. So I guess I'll just have to wait for some comments. Chilling out in the office. I wondered how long it'd take you, Luke. It's the third live stream I've done today, and you've been with me every step of the way. That rhymes. Should be a rapper. Welcome, Luke. It's good to have you back again. Who else have we got here? I now have 7 viewers, so let me know who you other 6 are. Get some questions my way. Good old mum's back. Always nice to see some family support. So I've got a family member and a friend. How are you watching that? Won't mind seeing that myself, it looks pretty good. I've not long had a Domino's, Luke, like we were talking about before. They've got a new deal thing. Couldn't say no. So have any of the other now 3 viewers got any questions maybe? What are you all up to? Obviously I'm not up to much, just engaging some conversations with you, chilling in the office, doing a few things. Excuse me. Back down to 3 viewers. Come on, guys. Who's tuned in? It's been made apparent as well that there's some football going on or something, so I can understand that's going to have a negative impact because some people love football. Personally, I can't stand it. I find it boring. Extremely boring. Send you a link in a minute. I thought there was a football match on today. I sent a link to one of my friends and he said that he'll tune in after the football, so unless he's watching it on catch up or something. So in that case, if there's no football today and the football's tomorrow, nobody's got any excuse, have they? Bloody Wimbledon. As in tennis. I'm not a sporty person, you know that, so whenever I see Wimbledon, that says tennis to me. 6 viewers. Come on, people. I was hoping this would be like some kind of blockbuster stuff. Someone must have questions or must want to know something or something. Tennis. That's just as boring. In fact, I don't find many sport entertaining, really. I don't mind UFC and stuff. That's entertaining. Oi, oi, Chris. Nice to see you here. How's it going, Chris? Still keeping them mad discus? Angel has covered glass in eggs again. So will she just eat them? Is this the angel that's being kept on its own? All good, mate. Glad they're doing well. You still feeding that Ditone beef art? I know you were rating that quite high. I could do with getting my hands on a little sample pack of that or something, maybe do a review. Who is it that sells it, yeah? Marble Angel on its own. So she's on her own and still laying eggs. Quite a common thing that with angels. Beef art. What do you mean you can't get any other comments when you're on the laptop, Jay? I'm on my PC at the same time as using the phone, and I can see all your comments live and direct. So it's Jake that's still selling the Detone beef art, Chris? How much is it, do you know? I'd only be after a little bit though. Thought the platinum was female. It must be the marble because we've got X. Yeah, Mum, she'll probably just eat them. If not, just clean them off. They are easily removed from the tank. Should get her a male. Got plenty of angelfish here. Wow, that's mad. I've just clicked play on the computer and it's a little bit behind, but it's weird. And now I don't know how to stop it. Only can see my comments and no one else's. Probably because you've blocked everyone, Jay. I pass. I'm not too knowledgeable with this sort of stuff. I can see them all though, I think. No, I can't. I can only see... I can see if I scroll up and down on my phone. But when I'm on the computer, I can only see sort of like 4 random comments, and then in the top right it says 22 comments, but it doesn't let me click it. Oh. Not too sure on that one, I'm afraid, but you're not missing anything, Jay. He buys for himself and I'll jump in on the order. We'll pass you some next time I'm up. Oh yeah, that'd be great if you could do that, Chris. Just enough for a couple of feedings, just so I can get some footage and do a review. It'd help Jake or whoever the maker of Detone is, really. Just so I can get some reviews put up on the channel. I've not done any fish orders yet either, mate. I've had a few issues at home, so I should be doing an order end of the month to the beginning of next month. I've not forgot, I'll definitely will order the rams for you, no problem. Bigger? Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. The company that I'm having to get your blue rams for though, they are generally a little bit more expensive, so I'll have to hook you up with another price. Did any of the people who are watching now get an inbox from me with a link? If so, did you click it and that's how you're watching the video? It's just I've got a few people saying that they can't find this live stream and I'm not sure. Yeah, the lads are saying that they went on the page and apparently the live stream's not there. Ah, found it now. Welcome, Jonathan. Welcome, Jay O'Brien. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, feel free. That's what I'm here for, that's what I'm doing it for. Well, that's good, Jay O'Brien. I'll have to call you by your first two names because there's another Jay. At least I know the links getting into people's news feeds. So that's pretty cool. When am I getting a pred tank? You know what, Chris? That is one thing I would absolutely love. I've considered ripping out the bottom end of the fish room and getting, you know, those 1,000 litre IBCs. Well, I can fit 2 of those in the back. Cut the tops off with an angle grinder and then a jigsaw through the plastic. I can fit 2 of them, so I was going to get 2 and put them on a nice 4x2x2 sump and do something with them, some rescued red-tailed cats and arowana and stuff. You do indeed, Scott. Great to see you here. You've got a day off work today, so you had no excuse. Yeah, my buddy Scott Nixon has one of those. I might be a copycat, Scott, but you've got koi in yours. I want good fish in mine. Although, if I did it, and I did go for an arowana, I would take your experience of it and fix the problem before I hit it. I'd love to stock preds, Chris. I really would. The problem with it, with stocking preds is A, finding them. Out of all the suppliers I've got, for preds are not the greatest. I can get all the common preds like red-tailed cats and silver arowana and plenty of different bitches and eels and stuff, but you know, I want the mean stuff. I forget the name, but there's a keratin, a large growing keratin out of there that's got real big fang teeth in the jaw. I think they're called vampire tetras or something. They're pretty cool. I'd have some of those. I would actually have a Goliath tigerfish. They're sick to look at. Go back through the comments. Yeah, it does work well for all sorts, Scott. You used yours for growing on discus and angels and stuff, and that worked great. Maybe I will do it, maybe I won't, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I say, I thought of the IBC idea, and then I kind of drifted away from that idea and went into the idea of just putting an extension on the fish room and having some 8x3x2 tanks for a stingray breeding project. Took the words right out of my mouth there, Chris. I've always fancied breeding rays. Something I've always really wanted to do. But if you want to breed rays, you're going to need some big tanks. Seriously big tanks. And you're going to need to know what you're doing. So, it's kind of odd as well, because with my fish room, not only do I do a lot of breeding, so if any of you watching this also watch my YouTube videos, you'll know that I breed a lot of fish. I've currently got a lot of fry going on. So not only do I do that, I also run a business off the side of it out the same fish room. So any sort of extension, for instance, ripping out the back wall tanks and putting the IBCs in, that's also ripping out stock tanks, which means I'm losing money. So it's kind of a tricky one. J. O'Brien, been thinking about doing a plywood aquarium. How deep would you go for rays? Deep as in top to bottom, or deep as in front to back? If you're talking deep to front to back, a bare minimum of 36 inches. That's what you'll need. Because stingrays, they don't grow long, they grow round like a big plate. That's where you need the depth. Be right back, Scott. Make sure you actually come back and you don't just sack me off. I want this to work out. Jonathan Rowley. Why is my female angelfish cleaning the slate and my male is just minding its own business? It's been doing it for about 15 minutes. Mate, that's completely normal. It's... with a lot of cichlids, it's the female's role to do everything, basically. With cichlids, you get some where the females will do everything and all the male does is literally fertilise. You get some where the males will do everything and it's just the female's job to lay the eggs. And then you get some fish as well that, you know, they share the role. So obviously, if your female is doing all the cleaning, then chances are she's going to also be doing the laying and the fanning and the guarding and everything. It's just one of those things. I wouldn't worry about it at all. You'll probably find that when she's laying and he's going over fertilising, you'll see a role reverse then. So he'll probably kick off at her so he can get to the fanning and stuff. It's a bit like the other day when you was messaging me saying that your male was battering the female. That's what I mean, role reverse. Now he's not battering the female because the female's doing what he wants her to do. White tanks, mate. You always end up wanting to go bigger. Bang on, Chris. Exactly that. I started with a... how big was it? It was about 5.5 foot long. It was about 4 foot wide and then a standard 8 foot tall ceiling. That was my first fish room, tiny. Started with 20 tanks, ended up with 30, God knows how. I went from that to a 9 foot square room. Again though, standard 8 foot ceiling. Got 48 in that. This is actually the room I'm in now. The office was an old fish room. So it was a huge living room first. Then, with my missus's permission and help obviously, I split the living room, not quite in half but not far. That was a fish room. Then I moved from here outside. And then it turned into the kids' playroom. And now it's my office. It's kind of weird. It's like the first fish room I had. That was just where we stored all our crap. Then it turned into a fish room. Then it turned back into the place we stored all the crap. Then it turned into my office. And the same things pretty much happened with this office. So make use of the room you've got, because although this house is a fair size, what it lacks is storage pretty badly. So Luke, wait until mine's done, then sell your fish out of mine whilst you extend. Hey, that's not a bad offer, that, Luke. Not a bad offer. You'll be on a commission basis, though. Not pinching my profits. I don't get enough profit as it is. Yeah, the male won't be aggressive now, mate, because the female's doing exactly what the male wants. The female is doing exactly what the male wants her to do, so he hasn't got to fight anymore. So you'll probably find that everything will calm back down, and then they'll start scrapping again right before she starts laying. That's just generalised cichlid behaviour. Happens with pretty much all cichlids. Then it'll all calm back down, and they'll both share the role of taking care of the eggs and the wrigglers and then the free swimmers. And then depending on what the parental skills are like, you maybe get 2 to 4 weeks before you need to pull the angelfish fry away from the parents. Otherwise they'll turn predatory, you see, and start eating all the babies. And that's not really what you're going to want. Yeah, carry on laughing. I fucked up. I always jumble up my words. Do it a lot on YouTube, but thankfully I've got a software editor that can cut all that out. So laugh while you can, bitches. Chris, that is the $1 million question, that. I get asked that question quite a lot on YouTube and Instagram. And every time that I get asked that question, it's a complete different fish. To cut it short, I haven't got a favourite fish. On the whole, it's really tricky. Right now, my favourite fish is, if you watch my YouTube videos, my favourite fish is slug. A slug is a red devil cichlid, and he's called slug because he jumps up at the cover glass and eats any slugs that are lurking on the cover glass, because I'm either dealing with slugs in the fish room or ants. And at the moment, because of all the rain and everything we're not getting, well, I'm not getting many ants, but I am getting slugs. Slug takes care of it. He loves eating them, despite it being quite dangerous. I don't know what them slugs are eating. Probably me fucking fish food. Yeah, mum, bang on. Well, of course it's going to be a cichlid. Most of the videos on YouTube are all about cichlids. The cover photo on the All Things DW page, cichlids. The logo on the DW Aquatics page is a discus, which is a cichlid. I love them. I love the Americans though, not the Africans. Yeah. Don't worry, mum, they've all heard that story of how all of this is my dad's fault. All of it. Yeah, Chris, he was a beauty. Sadly, this little chat section that I've got on the bottom of my screen, you know how when you comment on Facebook in general you can add a photo? I can't do that here, otherwise I'd share a photo of Buster so that everybody knows who you're on about. But yeah, he was an awesome fish. He was so aggressive. I just had to get rid of him. Someone offered me a daft amount of money, and the tank he was in, it's got a crack from the top to the bottom that's been plated. And it was getting to the point where he was that aggressive when he used to butt the glass. I was scared. So he had to go. I'd get another one though. Like I'm going to charge you, haha, from Luke. Too right you wouldn't charge me, you couldn't. Does Bogwood help with the pH from Jonathan? that can be a yes and a no answer. Bogwood and pH, if the bogwood's new and it's still releasing tannic acid, then yes, it can help. If it's old and it's not releasing tannic acid, then it won't do anything to your water. But even so, the tannic acid will only do something if the buffering capabilities of your water are low. So if you've got a low KH, then your tannic acid will soften up your water. But if your KH is high, it won't do anything. Doesn't matter what you try with your water. Unless you do something drastic like add hydrochloric acid, which is dangerous. Don't do that unless you know what you're doing. But even then, when you add hydrochloric acid to a water with high KH, it'll drop your pH to whatever you want it to drop to, but then overnight it'll just raise back up again. Because your carbonate hardness of the water, which basically means there's a lot of metals and minerals and stuff in your water that keeps your pH stable, whereas if you've got a low KH, your water can swing all over the place. So, are you trying to get your pH down? Is that why you asked the question? J. O'Brien. I used to love Africans. I used to be quite a big breeder of African cichlids. In fact, my first British Cichlid Association Breeders Award, the majority of the fish entered to get me that award were Mbuna. But I just felt as if everybody was keeping and breeding and selling Mbuna. It just got a bit boring. But before Mbuna, I was keeping and breeding Americans. I've kept and bred Americans from day one of seriously being in this hobby, so they're just a fish I'm always going to go back to. Talking about Mbuna, if you come across any Williamsi, let me know. I've been after them for years. If I get any chance at getting them to breed, I'll do it. My last sort of goal with Mbuna, were red top Nadumbis. Beautiful fish, and I managed to get those and breed them. So now my next sort of goal to work with Mbuna wise is the Williamsi. Jay, how can I get my wife to let me rob her big walk-in wardrobe room for a fish room without a bat and a patio? That's a good question, that, Jay. Buy her a handbag and jewellery, mum. That just won't cut the mustard. Tried that. Well, get her clothes, take them out of the wardrobe. No, scratch that before you do that. Go to Wilko's, buy one of those fire bins. I think they're like 15 quid. Get one of them, stick it in your garden, go up to your bird's wardrobe, pull all the clothes out, stick them in the bin, set it on fire, make sure she's out when you do it, lock the front door, set your fish room up in the wardrobe, boom, she can't do anything. Oh, and I know you have issues with going to sleep, you don't sleep that much anyways, but just never go to sleep. That way, she can't put a pillow over your face, can she? Is that a good answer? David Yates. Is a constant trickle feed of water with a heavy metal filter for water changes a good idea, or will it cause problems? Depends on how your tank's set up, David. Is it sumped? Have you got like a bulkhead so it's on an overflow system? If it's on an overflow system, it shouldn't cause any problems physically, i.e. with your tank overflowing and flooding the place. But it depends on what the heavy metal filter does. Are you talking about RO, or are you talking about HMA, or are you talking about something completely different? If all it does is removes heavy, and I mean heavy metals like magnesium and stuff, it should be okay. But if it's anything like RO, that will definitely cause problems. Luke. Gonna have to empty the tanks for a while as I need to find fish that I want in there, mate. So when it's done, save up them pennies, Luke. You know you like all the fish that I have to offer. Are the shoes and bags branded, Jay? If they are, bring them round. I'll bang them on eBay for you. What's the best and cheapest way to divide my tank for another pair? Best and cheapest way, mate? Sponge. I can get sheet sponge, 2-inch thick, so you haven't got to use any runners. You literally just cut it to the width and height of your tank and slide it in. That way you haven't got to use a second heater and you don't have to use a second filter. In fact, with a little bit of DIY and a little bit of pipe, you can turn the divider into a double filter, so it'll filter both sides of the tank. That's the best and cheapest way. Sponge is about 15 quid, but it's good stuff. It's what I use for all, well, pretty much all of the filters in the fish room. Running in the sump, but it seems to have algae problems. How long are your lights on, David? What kind of lighting is it? Is the tank anywhere near a radiator, a window? Is it, are you dosing carbon or any other plant fertilizers? Do you have plants? There's quite, see, I know with this kind of thing, a lot of people seem to get annoyed when they ask me a question and then I answer them with another question, but with this hobby, it's very hard to diagnose people's problems with a short sentence like what you said, especially when there are a million factors that could be in it. So I try to, I call it the process of elimination. So I eliminate things until I can give you the best possible answer. J. O'Brien. My plan is to convert my garage, hopefully get an 8 before I'll be free for pred and raise. Keep the Mabuna in my 5.5 and maybe some discus in a cube. I don't breed, just want fish I enjoy. That certainly sounds like you've got some awesome plans, Jay. You have to fire over some pictures. Especially if you do that pred and ray tank, that'll be impressive. I do like Mabuna. I just feel as if a lot of the tanks look like fish zoos. It's like somebody's just gone out and bought their entire fish shop of Mabuna and launched them all in. If you've got nice fish, I'm down. Have I thought of getting raised? Stuart Bennett. You know this, man. Yeah, I love rays. Excuse me, I'm like severely tired. I love rays. If someone held a gun to my head and said, tell me what your favourite fish is, or I'll pop a cap in your ass, I would say stingray. I love them. I love everything about them. The way they swim, the way they spawn, even though that's some aggressive stuff. The only thing, and the single most important thing that's stopping me doing it, is tank size. Well, I have got tanks to keep juveniles in. You know, I've got enough space for some young hystrix and motoros and teacups and stuff. I've got the space to keep juveniles, but I'm not one of those people who gets a fish because they like it, gets it small and then flogs it on when it's too big. If I was to get rays, I'd want to commit to it. So yeah, one day I'll get there. Need the pennies first though. Is that the 2-inch sponge, Danny? I need some when we're getting closer to the finish. Yeah, it is, Luke. I can get it in 1-inch, 2-inch and 4-inch. So my big 4B2B2 tank that's got the DIY custom filters in the back, that's 4-inch block foam out of a corner. All of the other filters are 2-inch. And if you've got some like really small tanks like 12B8B8 or 12-inch cubes or anything like that, and you want to go down the Hamburg mat and filter route, you can put like a little glass strip in, and that way you can get away with using coarse 1-inch, which is cheaper. What about a ray with my discus? The Stingray wouldn't touch or even attempt to touch your cardinals and rummies. They're far too small, Chris. They wouldn't be no meal to it at all. And a big ray's not catching them, never. I'd be slightly concerned with your cories for 2 reasons. One, the cories would share the floor of the tank with the ray, which could end up being food. And 2, cories have got really sharp spines at the side of the gill plates, and some have got sharp spines on the dorsal. If your ray tries to eat one and it lodges in its throat, you could end up with a dead ray. It's not really what you'd want. If it were me, like if you were asking, could I have a ray with my discus and stuff like that, I would, in my personal opinion, try and discourage you from it. They're not hard to keep, but they are, you do need a level of commitment, due to, you know, you need a level of commitment, and you need the money to keep them. Basically, you need the money to buy them, you need the money to buy the food, because they're not cheap. And then, you know, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But I'm not your dad. If you want to buy a Stingray, mate, go for it. I'm just here to give out advice. I'm advising I wouldn't do it. But it's your tank, mate. Well, I've managed to keep an okay amount of viewers, 10 viewers, not too shabby. I'm loving all these questions and stuff though. I was only gonna stay live for half an hour, but sod it. As long as you're all happy, I'm happy. Get the questions in. I think I've had quite a decent time chatting. eBay? Do you mean like the fish selling? That's going well. Still plenty of bloody idiots I have to deal with though. I can't name any names or anything obviously, but Jesus Christ. I've had to deal with a right fool. Yeah, eBay's great at the moment anyway. When I first started using eBay for selling fish, it was a bit touch and go. Things were selling far too cheap and taking losses and stuff. But money wise, it's not doing too bad. It's just, I have to deal with some idiots. Like, not too long ago, right, get onto this. Not too long ago, I had some guy, this was when I was keeping and breeding Malawi cichlids, particularly blue dolphins. I was breeding a hell of a lot of blue dolphins, and I was putting them on eBay, and this guy, I can't remember his name. If I remembered his name, I'd tell you, because I just don't care. He was bidding on every single listing that I had for Malawi's, and he was winning quite a few. And then he was messaging me, asking me if I'd deliver them to his restaurant, because he wants to serve them as food and all stuff like that. And I was obviously an idiot, but then, obviously I told him to, you know, do one. Not quite that polite, but yeah. And he started sending me pictures of himself in chef uniforms holding a big knife and stuff like that. And apparently this restaurant was in Bromborough, which is like 5 minutes down the road. So yeah, that was pretty funky. I also had a customer not too long ago who bid on every single listing that I had on eBay and won every single listing. And it is eBay registered address and everything was Northwich in the UK, which isn't too far at all, 40-minute drive or so. But he wanted me to send all the fish to Russia. What? Bearing in mind these listings were 7-day listings, and he'd been bidding all through 7 days. So, you know, he completely wasted my time. Then when I reported it all to eBay, eBay said that I had to wait another 10 days before I get all my fees reversed, because obviously I get fees for everything I sell. Oh, it was just an absolute nightmare. So it's a minority that ruin it really, but, you know. Jonathan Rowley, do you have cheap pairs? Define cheap. What do you call cheap? For instance, if someone offered me a pair of blue diamond discus for 150 quid, that's severely cheap to me. Whereas that might seem expensive to you. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, what kind of budget are you looking at? J. O'Brien, that looks a nice device you're using there, mate. My mate works in a vape shop. It's an awesome device. Awesome. 3 batteries. 200 watt, but it's a guaranteed 200 watt. A lot of the devices that only hold 2 batteries that claim 200 watt, they're actually not 200 watt. But this one is certified 200 watt. Although the highest I've vaped is 125 watts, and that blew my head off. I'd love to work in a vape shop. Vaping's another interest of mine. I love learning how to make the different coils and what goes into the juice making and stuff. So I've tried to get in a few vape shops, but it seems to be quite clicky, so I've not managed it yet. But we never know. Nikki, I've got 6 clown loach in my 390 litre tank, but one has not grown at all, but the other 5 are quite big. Nikki, did you buy all the clown loach at the same time? Also, you might, it could be your tank that's the issue. 390 litres, sorry to say, it's nowhere near big enough for 6 clown loach. So it could be that. But yeah, I'm not about to have a go at you because that's not what I do. Did you buy all 6 at the same time? If you did, it could be that the other 5 that you say are quite a decent size, it could be that they're just getting all the food, so you might need to feed a little bit more so the other one can get enough food. Or it could be your water changes. Are you doing frequent and large enough water changes? The reason I say that is because fish in general, they release a hormone that it doesn't stunt the growth, but it slows the growth of all other fish down, so, which allows them to become bigger, faster, so that they can become mature and dominant quicker. And that's one of the reasons why you need to do frequent water changes, is to constantly pull out the hormones. That's why if you see people who are breeding fish but they're growing really small, or they're growing with like deformed spines and short gill plates and stuff, that's one of the reasons why they're not doing enough water changes fast enough. 15 to 20 quid range. Are you talking as of right now? Or are you talking as in, do I ever get pairs of fish in that range? If you can answer that question, I can answer you properly then. David Life. I think I said that right, I'm really sorry if I didn't. I started seeing planted aquariums on Instagram and they're growing on me. I've got sand in both tanks at the moment, but I'm thinking of changing. Have you had any experience with planted tanks? If so, how do they compare? I'm a bit confused. How do what compare? The different substrates? Is it the different substrates you're trying to find what's best to use kind of thing? I do like planted tanks. I've never committed to planted tanks though, because I am a cichlid lover and most cichlids don't like plants. I only really use plants in my live bearer tanks, and even those plants are just easy, quick growing plants like various mosses, guppy grass, various species of Anubias, Amazon swords, Balis, Crips. I don't go, you know, high-tech stuff. Jonathan, do I ever get them in that range? Yeah, definitely, quite a lot actually. To reel some off, I can get crebensis cheap in your budget. So all the fish I'm about to reel off can be made available in pairs in your budget. Crebensis, various species of Apistogramma, sometimes angelfish, various Central American cichlids. Well, there's quite a few really. It's actually a longer list than I think. But yeah, 15 to 20 pounds, quite a nice range. I am loving the live today actually. I've never done it. I've always wanted to after watching, because I follow people on my own personal Facebook, like I follow Kian Toomey, who does comedy stuff, who's always on it. One of the most prolific celebrities that go live that I watch is Kevin Hart, and I've always fancied it, but I use an Android phone, and the live function's only been made available to Android users sort of over like the past month. So I've not been able to do it till now, and then earlier today I did it as just a little test to see if anybody would bother checking in. And whilst the view count is small, it's still enough to get me going. But yeah, what's the best fish? Best? Ooh, I don't know. I'd have probably a few answers to that. One of them would be a large cichlid. Large cichlid, what am I chatting about? I'm trying to like read this screen and the computer screen at the same time. Large Hofflow, it's a 6-inch female catfish, and I had her I had her donated to me from a girl who was pregnant and could no longer look after a tank, and she moved and blah de blah. So she gave me all of her fish, and one of them was a large hoplo. And at first, I thought I had a tank leaking, and it was the tank the hoplo was in. But it turns out it wasn't leaking. The hoplo used to come up to the top, and I'd have like a gap between the edge of the tank and where the slider sits. And she'd just sit right under the water's surface, spitting water out with her whiskers. That was pretty awesome. Another best fish in my book is Buster the Flowerhorn. He was a mean geezer. I don't know whether I've got you as a friend on my personal Facebook, but if I have, and you look through the photo albums on there, you'll find pictures of him. He was cool. As of right this moment, it's either going to be my Strasburgi, purely because of the rarity and the fact that I'm breeding them, or it'd be Slug, the Red Devil cichlid. He's a pretty cool geezer. J. Powney, which would you say is best, a bare tank or a planted tank for a main discus tank? Planted, definitely. For looks, planted. For the easiness of things, bare, obviously, because it's easier to clean it. But if it's your main tank, you're going to want it to look nice, aren't you? So, planted. Although, it's kind of a tricky one. It depends whether you're trying to be biotopic correct or not. If you are, plants won't be biotopic correct because there are absolutely no plants in the wild with them. It's all just tannin stained water, long branch, rooty driftwood and stuff like that. So, you know, it depends what you want. If it was me keeping your discus, I'd go for planted. If it was me keeping my discus, I'd go for the other look. Tannic acid, rooted bogwood all over the place, leaf litter, sandy substrate. Well, sandy substrate, but I'd mix a bit of gravel in there just to make it look a bit more authentic. You ever thought about saltwater fish? Is that a trick question? Like, are you just asking that for a laugh? Anybody who knows me will know that I absolutely despise saltwater fish. Can't stand them. Never been interested in them. Never will be interested in them. Don't like them. That's the end of that story. I like looking at them. I don't like keeping them. And I don't like keeping them because I used to work with them at the Blue Planet Aquarium when I worked there. I used to help out on the saltwater section a lot. And I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I have it heavily planted at the moment, but been thinking, do I need anything in it? It's entirely up to you, Jay, really. Your tank and your fish. How come I don't like marine? I don't know, to be honest. I can't like say this is why I don't like them. There's just something that I've never really been interested. Like I say, I used to work with them at the Blue Planet Aquarium, and I just didn't find it enjoyable. I didn't find it as interesting as the fish that I keep now, really. And also with saltwater aquariums, if you've got like the slightest cut anywhere from your hands, sort of your shoulders, and you're working on a tank, you will know that that cut's there. Like I say, I like looking at them. I'm just not really interested in keeping them. Any more comments from anybody? Oh, that's a bloody good question, that, Aaron. Bloody good question. Who do I find inspiring on YouTube? MA Fish Guy, definitely, he's a great guy. I'm hoping to be working with him in the near future on YouTube. That should be fun. Andy Woods as well. I don't know what his YouTube name is, I'll have a quick look. He's not like a huge channel, but I watch channels that interest me. Yeah, his name's Andy Woods on YouTube. He keeps a lot of the aggressive Central American cichlids. So does him. King of DIY is not bad. He's got a few good videos I like to watch. There's another small channel called, where is he? Old School Fish Guy. He's good. Mainly because I like to learn the history of the hobby. So he does just that on YouTube, so that's great. I don't actually watch. I do watch a fair few fish channels, but most of the channels that I do watch on YouTube, they're either tech related, like phones and PCs and stuff, vaping or music, cars, stuff like that. If I was to go and tell you what channels I watch, I'd be here all night, because there's loads. Aquarium Co-op as well, that's not a bad channel. But yeah, there's a good few. James. Yeah, they're very appealing to the eye, and I've got a mate that keeps them. I also prefer freshwater fish, but I do love all fish. I like all fish. So I like, I like looking at freshwater fish. I like looking at marines. I like looking at koi. I like looking at sturgeon. And I guess I like learning about all fish in general. I just don't like keeping marines, and I don't like keeping anything cold water either. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, Luke, for working with Aaron or MA Fish Guy. Should be awesome. Should be bloody awesome. I sent you a vid. When you're ready, watch it. I'll watch it as soon as I'm done here, mate. No problem. You up for shooting a fish room build when I have all the stuff? Hell yeah, down for that. Let me know when and where. Providing I don't sit on my camera again. But yeah, I'm game. Just give me a shout, mate. Anybody else got any cues? But is your camera worthy of my YouTube channel? Do I have any other pets? I personally don't have any other pets, but my partner does have a cat. Partner does have a cat who has completely destroyed the house with scratching stuff that he really shouldn't be scratching. Sick of decorating because he scratches it. I wouldn't mind some more reptiles though. I used to enjoy keeping lizards and snakes. I wouldn't mind grabbing another snake or something for the office. But not get the snake and get a fish tank or get nothing. Who knows? Josh said, can fish see colours? Yeah, they can. From what I'm aware, the only colour they can't see is a specific spectrum of red, which is why not too long ago it was produced in the Practical Fish Keeper magazine. A company, I forget the name, they came up with a red torch where once it was lit and you shine it into a tank at night or whatever, the fish wouldn't be able to see that spectrum of red, so it wouldn't startle the fish really. And also I know on eBay there's a company called Penplax. They sell nets that are red, and obviously they claim fish can't see it. Well, they can, because dumbass here went and bought a Penplax red net thinking, oh yeah, a be able to catch me fish a lot faster. No, it doesn't make any difference. It is a specific spectrum of red they can't see, but other than that, yeah, they can see colour. My Wi-Fi keeps going bad. Apologies. Any ideas on a suitable tank, mates? 5 guppies and 8 danios. You've got quite a decent sized base tank there, Carl. You could have plenty of fish, really. Many different tetras, neons, cardinals, rummy nose, emperor tetras, stuff like that. The only thing with tetras is you need to do your research first, because quite a few of the tetras can be fin nippers, which would be no good for your guppies, because most guppies have nice fancy tails, and if your tetras, like for instance flame tetras are known for it, if you get a bunch of those, your guppies won't have any tails pretty fast. Stay away from the majority of barbs, because they can be a bit funny. You could have curried over catfish along the bottom, Farlowella twig catfish, small growing plex like the Panatmachus, the clown pleck. There's quite a decent array of fish available there. J. O'Brien, am I interested in any other exotic animals? I like reptiles, and some amphibians. I like the red-eye tree frogs, they're pretty cool. And I like, what else do I like? I like some of the spiders, some of the tarantulas, like the Mexican red knee, pink toes, what else is there? The chili rose, the curly hairs, but I'd never be able to get any because my partner's petrified of spiders, so that's a no-go. But other than that, I like geckos, bearded dragons, pythons, rat snakes, garters, corn snakes, hognose, that kind of thing. I have 2 fire salamanders and a gargoyle gecko. I don't know what a gargoyle gecko is. I know what the fire salamanders are. Haven't they got some restrictions of being kept in the UK? Isn't there some kind of law against them being taken or something? Or is it a law against them being released? I'm not quite sure. Jay, I'm breeding royal pythons, bloody hell. Stunning snake. But that's a lot of fun breeding them. James, you can post a picture to the main page, I think. If you want to do that, that's entirely up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. But you should be able to post a picture to the actual main page if you want. Dart frogs are cool. I had the chance to do a dart frog setup a while ago, but I passed on it. Should have done it really. Yeah, that must be it, James. It must be a releasing thing. I've a lot of things. I think it's because the way our climate's changing now. A lot of the fish that normally wouldn't be able to make it in our weather now can. So therefore they could pose a danger, I suppose. Well, I've been going on for an hour and 20 minutes now. So what was supposed to have been an half an hour thing. I'll give it till 11 and then I'm signing off. Yeah, so I'm gonna sign off at 11. You all have had enough of my time today. I've been live streaming 3 times. I've been a hooligan. If you look up lemon blast pie, that's a morph I'm hoping for. I have seen pied pythons, they're beautiful fish. Absolute stunning fish. Are you on your phone, James, or are you on like a PC? If you're on your phone, I've got absolutely no idea how you do it. If you're on a PC, you just open a new tab, go to Facebook, and then facebook.com/DW Aquatics 2013, and then you'd be on the main page. But if you're on your phone, I have no idea, mate. I'm sorry. I do like the pied pythons. They are nice to look at. It's been a few years since I had a snake, though. Bloody hell. What's my dream fish? Stingray. All day long, stingray. That was quite an easy question, actually. Yeah, stingray is my dream fish. Do I have a display tank? Nope, I don't have a display tank anymore. Purely because I don't really have the time to have a tank in the house as well as nearly 50 tanks outside. So, time consuming. Any tips on buying fish? When you're buying fish, you want to make sure they're all swimming fine. So you don't want no head standing, you don't want any rolling about. You want the fish to be nice and alert. So if you go up to the tank and they come at the glass to greet you, as I call it, that's a good health indicator. Showing good colours. You don't want any like torn or frayed fins. If they're having a poo at the time of you looking at them, you want it to be a normal poo. You don't want it to be clear, white or stringy. Places to avoid. I can't really say that. Because it could land me with a lawsuit and slander. So, if any of the people in the comment section want to give you some places on where to avoid, I'll let them do that. But unfortunately, I can't give you places on to not visit. Because I don't want to end up in trouble. James, I've just got your picture through now. I had to approve it. It's quite a chunky little guy, isn't it? It's a nice little gecko, that, mate. Anywhere I would recommend, yeah, me. I'd recommend me. Can I do that? Can I recommend myself, or is that kind of cheesy? No, there's plenty of good places. They are getting few and far between now, though. Pier Aquatics in Wigan. That's not bad. Quite expensive, though. Silksworth Aquatics, that's not bad either. Aqualife in Leyland, that's not bad either, but expensive. There's a couple of maidenheads out there that ain't bad, but other than that, me. If there's something you want that I've not got, I can get it. And if you're not local to me, I can get it to you. I ship throughout the UK mainland though. Now that is a nice salamander. James, that is a very nice salamander. Yeah, that is very nice. I'm liking that. Are those plants real? Oh wait, is that? Are they aquatic? Is that underwater? I'm looking at the one that's more yellow. If that's any good to you, it's a lot more yellow than the other one. The one that I've asked if it's aquatic, but they're both equally nice. Get some tortoise. No thanks, Luke. Sack that. No. Next you'll be telling me to go and buy a fucking killer whale or something. Sal. Hey? Is that his name? Or am I missing something? Six minutes left, guys. I might make this like a weekly thing now that I know it works and it's pretty good. Maybe start a little bit earlier. Yeah, Luke, I'll go out tomorrow and pull a great white out of the River Mersey. I'm not even going to attempt to say that. I'm pretty good at pronouncing fish names, but fastuosa, fastuosa. I've no idea. Pretty original name though, Sal. You can never forget it. They do have a dip. By dip you mean literally a dip, or are they like semi-aquatic, like those red claw crabs that everybody was bumming off keeping? Can I go live from the fish room? I can't, I'm afraid. I tried to do that earlier today, but my Wi-Fi signal won't reach, which sucks, but there's nothing I can do. I might try. Well, it reaches, but I only get like a little tiny bar and it's not enough to keep me live, unfortunately. But it would be pretty awesome being live from the fish room. Although I think a lot of your ears will bleed from the noise of the pumps. Gets a bit too much if you're not used to it. Fair enough. See, James, I like learning about all animals. They sit in a water bowl, but don't swim when adult. So do they start life out as aquatic then? Like, do they start life out as like tadpoles or something? Mum, I have no idea what you're saying. Great idea too, because I forgot what I've said. Oh, yeah. It would be great. I could show you what goes in, what goes on in there live and stuff. I can also flip the camera around. So right now I'm using the front-facing camera so I can see everything. But I can flip it round so it films everything behind the camera, which would be handy for showing all the fish and stuff. But the Wi-Fi signal won't reach, and I can't extend, like I can't move the location of where the router is without routing wires everywhere. Start the life as an axolotl, but then the stages in between where they then metamorph. That's awesome, James. That's cool, and I like that. That's cool. You learn something new every day. Tried it, Luke, and it was shit. I went to Argos and bought like a 30 quid TP-Link booster. Turns out my router wasn't compatible with it, and neither was the PC. So you're absolutely correct, Mum. I think people would enjoy seeing it. I'll try and rig something up. And like I say, I can get a Wi-Fi signal in there, but only where the window is, and I've only got one window in it. So the minute I take the phone and move it, it's going to throw me off. So it's pretty pointless, really. All I'd be able to do is stand in front of the window, resting the phone on it. I might try and figure something out. Who knows? But I'm going to have to vamoose now, because it's now 11 o'clock. I've got a few things that I need to do. But it was extremely nice getting to know some of you and going live. I might start doing this weekly now. Maybe every Sunday or something. Around about the same time, sort of like 9 PM. So yeah, if you'd be interested in like a weekly thing, leave a comment on the page for me to see. If I get enough people, or I think there'd be enough interest, and I'll do it. As long as I'm going to get at least 10 viewers and a bit of conversation going, I'm not too bothered, really. So yeah, as always, stay sexy, and I'll you'll watch me soon. I'll see you soon. Bye.